Hi everyone, welcome to my channel and welcome to my very first video. I'm really excited to show you all a little bit of what I have growing in my garden. This is going to be a video with many parts, so stay tuned because there's definitely going to be a part 2, part 3, maybe even a part 4. So I'm not going to make this video too long, and also I'm not going to be showing everything because since the sun is beaming right now, it is the middle of the day, things are a little bit droopy, and so I want to give you all the best depiction of how things usually look when they're not drooping because of the heat. But no worries because they will all perk right back up when the sun goes down a bit later in the afternoon. But let's get started, and I hope you guys enjoyed this very scattered, very much first timer video. So over here I have some potatoes, and these are actually looking exactly the way they're supposed to look, which is yellow and dying because they have pretty much run their course. And when you're supposed to, when it's time to pick the potatoes, this is how they're going to start looking. They're going to be brown, they're going to be wilty, and they're going to be a little bit yellow, a little bit brown. So that is actually not a bad thing. And also, let's see, over here I've got some goji berries growing. They don't have any flowers as of yet, but they get beautiful purple flowers, and then the little red berries grow, and they have a very unique peppery flavor, but also a little bit of sweetness in there. So yeah, and they're kind of a trailing plant, so they'll just spread on their own. And then again, this is a bit scattered, kind of picking and choosing what we're going to look at. This right here is an Armenian cucumber. And these cucumbers are very heat tolerant, which is good because we are definitely in the 80s and 90s now in June. And it's looking really healthy, looks really good. I don't see any fruit on it yet, but it's definitely climbing, and it's going to go all the way up this trellis. And if you're wondering what these are, these ferns, this is actually an asparagus plant that I am letting grow and fern out for one more year before I can start picking it. So that's really exciting, and I have a couple more of them in the yard, and I'm gonna get a better view of what actually has, oh, they were just a giant lizard, that actually has an asparagus on it, so you can see how they look before they get to this ferning stage. And then next to that I have some Malabar spinach, which is also a heat tolerant spinach, and I like it, it's really good. When the leaves get kind of big like this, they can be a little bit on the slimy side. Not super slimy like okra, but like just, they have a bit of a slime factor that might not be everyone's preference. So there's that. And we're gonna skip over to the other side of the garden. So this is my other asparagus plant. Well, I actually have 3 here, lots of ferns, and what happens is we go around, these ferns will get energy from photosynthesis from the sun, and then they will turn brown and die. And once they've turned completely brown like this, you can cut them on the bottom right at the stems, and all of that energy that was in the green part before it turned brown, or as it's turning brown, goes down into the roots or into the crown, and it's able to get more and more established in the soil. And as you can see, this is how the asparagus looks. Do you see that one asparagus that's kind of short, but it looks like the ones you would see in the store? So typically you would pick it when it's maybe a little bit taller than that, but you break it right at the bottom, and then it just regrows. So it's amazing, but it's important to let it fern out and not to pick it for the first, I believe, 2 years. So next year will be my 3rd year of this, and I'm gonna definitely be able to pick some next year, so I'm really excited for that. And what else do we have? We've got some tomatoes over here. This is a Rutgers tomato. And we've got some good tomato sets on here. As you can see, there's one there. And there's a couple more in here. And then I just have some flowering parsley around where the tomatoes are because they attract a lot of pollinators. And also it's a really good companion plant for tomatoes. And I also heard that borage flower is also a great companion plant for tomatoes, which is these pretty purple bluish flowers here. And these are actually edible. They taste like cucumbers a little bit. Not all of them taste like cucumbers, but I definitely have gotten some that actually do taste like cucumbers. And you can throw these in your salad. You can use it as a garnish on a dessert or on a meal. Really good stuff. And then over here, we've got more tomatoes. This is a Bradley tomato. Got 4 coming on here, as you can see. And some more coming up here. And this is almost outgrowing this little red trellis. And then over this way, got my little amateur compost pile. Don't judge me. I know it's probably not the way it's supposed to look, but it's doing something. But over here I have some dill, basil, and eggplant. So this is the dill, it's flowering. And I'm definitely going to start new seed. Well, I already started new seeds, but I'm going to be continuously starting new seeds so that I can always have dill to harvest. That way, by the time my cucumbers are done, I'll have dill to make lots and lots of pickles. Again, these flowers are great for pollinators. They love them. So I like to let it go to flower. These are the eggplants. Looking really good. I don't know what those little tiny black bugs are on there, but they don't seem to be bothering the plant too much, so that's good. And then yeah, we've got eggplants all down here, and in between I planted dill or basil. And this basil is looking like it wants to flower, and when it's looking like that, what I do is I just pluck the tip off like so, and I eat this, so put it in a salad or make tea with it. And when I pluck the tips off, it actually encourages the plant to bush out and to not go to seed. So that's awesome. Another eggplant, more basil, and another eggplant over there. I have a lot of eggplant growing, and I'm not sure what variety that is. This one over here, we've got, I don't know what variety this is either, but I think it's a white eggplant. So I planted 4 here, 2, 3, 4. And next to this trellis, I have green beans. Some of them have come up already. These are purple green beans. These ones are Kalima beans, and I don't remember what kind these are. Some of them are kind of getting attacked by the pill bugs, but they are still pushing through. So hopefully those will trellis all the way up this trellis here that I had the peas growing on previously. And then over here, I've got some tomatoes. This is a Federle tomato plant. Federle, I think I'm pronouncing that right. Let me know in the comments if that's not how you pronounce it. And I love the way the tomatoes look on here. Like, look at this. Isn't that beautiful? I love the shape, and there's so many. We've got more here. And the plant is getting really tall. And I'm just gonna let that grow wild, you know? On the other side of me, tight squeeze here, tight squeeze. I've got a little Ajvarski red pepper that I planted here. Next to that is some cilantro that's actually going to seed. These are the little seeds here. Those little things there. So from time to time I'll take them off, and I'll either collect them and put them into like a little container, or I will simply drop them in the soil, rough it up a little bit, and those cilantro seeds will grow again for me. I'll have new cilantro plants because they do go to seed when it gets warm like this. And then here I've got some parsley that has also gone to seed. Here we have it. And then here I've got a Black Beauty zucchini, looking really healthy and strong. I definitely have to mulch around here. I think I'm gonna cut some of my comfrey leaves that I have growing and mulch the top of this soil. Across from that, I've got some tarragon, really good on fish, chicken, veggie dishes. It's so good. It's called Savory. I don't know if I said tarragon earlier, but this is Savory, not tarragon. And then I've got some sugarloaf endive here. It's actually a miracle that it's still growing because it's very warm now, and this is really a cool weather crop. But it looks really good, and it's a little bit bitter, but has lots of amazing health benefits. Great for the liver, great for the kidneys, great source of folic acid if you are pregnant, carrying, or with child. And also, you can't really taste the bitterness when you mix it with salads and things like that. So I don't mind it at all. And we all know bitters are really good for the kidneys and the liver. Another Black Beauty eggplant here. Not as healthy looking as the other one, but I think it'll get there once its roots get deeper and it finds that sweet spot in the soil. More parsley. And what else can I show you that's not totally wilted? Oh, over here is another tomato plant. And this tomato plant is very special because it has actually been extinct for over 50 years until a YouTube gardener by the name of M.I. Gardner. I got these seeds from him, from his website. But basically he germinated a seed from this giant crimson tomato, which has been extinct for over 50 years, and he brought it back into existence. He now sells the seeds on his website, so it's so cool. And I finally was able to get my hands on some seeds because they're always sold out, and it's fruiting and it looks really good. And it's called I don't know if you can see the sign, a giant crimson tomato. Borage flowers next to there, of course, because I heard that borage flowers are like really great for tomatoes. They allegedly they help enhance the flavor of tomatoes and they keep pests away. So I'm always a huge fan of companion planting because plants love friends in general. So try to do that whenever I can. And we've got some celery that's going to seed. This was an amazing year for celery for me. I cannot believe I was finally successful with celery, and I'm definitely going to be saving seeds from these. It's been quite a process, these like turning into seed, and they really spread in the garden, like the stems. So I just tied it up with a piece of jute string, and hopefully they are, oh, is that pollen or are those seeds falling? But hopefully they will be ready for me to harvest the seeds soon so I can plant something else here. Little volunteer tomato. I don't know if I'll keep that there, but that's cool. And we've got some beets over here. Beautiful beets, as you can see. Look at that. Oh my gosh. I think I'm gonna pick one. What do you guys think? Should I pick one? It's not gonna be that big, but let's go ahead and pull that out of the ground. Wow. So beautiful. I think this is a bull's blood beet, but isn't that gorgeous? And they're so sweet. And I like that they're heat tolerant, and drought tolerant. Not for too long, but a couple days of drought isn't gonna kill them. As you can see, the soil's pretty dry. I do need a covering because I watered it, but it just dries out so fast without anything covering the surface. But yeah, more basil back there. Over here I've got another tomato plant. This is a homestead tomato, loaded with tomatoes. Look at that. And there's more up here. Beautiful. And then I've got a giant squash plant that I'm going to show you later because right now it's not looking too great and because it's a little wilted due to the sun. But what it does is when it's really hot like this is, well, I'll show it to you. These are my herbs: lemon balm, peppermint, sage. That's the sage. This is the peppermint. And this is the lemon balm. But this squash plant is so healthy and gigantic. It's wilted right now because when it's hot like this, the plant sends all of its water into its roots to keep them alive. And this is where the base of the stem is, right down there. So it causes the leaves to wilt. So sometimes this can be due to it needing water, but in this case it's not. It's just because it's so hot in the day. And once the evening comes and there's more shade, like this leaf wasn't affected because it's kind of in the shade, as you can see, but they'll perk right back up in the late afternoon. And then of course in the morning, they're really big and perky. So we'll give you another look of this squash plant in another video. And then let's move on up here. We got some sorrel, some rutabaga, and some, what else? Sorrel, rutabaga, and some watermelons in there. But again, not looking too hot because of the sun. Then over here I've got some Jalafuego peppers. Yes, that is the name, Jalafuego. I have never heard of this type of pepper until this year. So I guess these are just the bigger version of jalapeno peppers. And we've got 3 plants growing here, and as you can see, there's actually a little pepper right there. You see that? So I'm really excited for that. Definitely a key ingredient for my pickles. Sweet and spicy pickles. Volunteer squash growing here. Some mustard greens. More mustard greens. And the last thing I'm going to show you before I end this video, because I don't want it to be too long, is my other tomato plants, of course. So over here, I've got an Italian heirloom tomato. This is absolutely beautiful. Look at this. Look at the size. I don't know if you can get a good idea of the size of this, but it is absolutely huge and beautiful. So that's an Italian heirloom, and then we have another one over here that has 2. They look like they're gonna turn soon. Well, this one definitely. And got a little one over here too, looking amazing. And I just planted some basil around it as a companion. But yeah. And the last thing, very last thing I'm going to show you is right over this way. We've got some watermelons growing. These are Moon and Star watermelons that I actually saved seed from a watermelon that my neighbor gave us last year, and we planted those seeds, and they are doing so amazing. So we have 4 of this variety growing over here, and I am extremely excited about getting some Moon and Star watermelons. They're looking really healthy and looking really good. And yes, I think that is going to conclude part 1 of my garden tour. I hope you all enjoyed this garden tour, and I hope that you will tune in to my next video, to part 2 of my summer/spring garden tour, or spring/summer. We're in the beginning of June, so summer is right around the corner. And thank you all so much for watching. Thank you for tuning in to Fruition Gardens, and I'll see you all on the next video. Bye! Have a great day.